Hey everyone, it's Jeff. Before anything else, I should offer a spoiler warning. I'm taking a week or two off from One Piece theories. With a few revelations I've already gotten from some helpful comments, I've got a few more bacon in the oven. I've been working on this for quite a while. I'm a perfectionist, and it makes it very challenging for me to sometimes upload something when I know there are flaws. If I can push past the imperfections and upload it, I'm good to go. It doesn't bug me anymore. So today, I want to talk about fan fiction. Fan fiction, or fanfic, is when a fan of any skill level that isn't the original writer makes an extended story based off someone else's work. This isn't usually to rewrite canon, but it does sometimes incorporate hypotheticals. Some authors are staunchly against this, like George Martin, writer of A Song of Ice and Fire or Game of Thrones, the TV version. Others are for it, like George Lucas, creator of Star Wars. If you ask me, fanfic is completely harmless. In fact, if I had a published work of my own, I'd totally encourage it. Immortalizing one's work with limitlessly expanding lore is what I think every author should aim for, to be frank. Star Wars wouldn't be half as good as it is without the countless novels, TV shows, comics, and games that utilize the ability to further expand its lore. Of course, Star Wars scrapped old content, which is a damn shame, but I'm not here to get upset about anything today. No, today I want to do some fanfic myself. It normally has shipping connotations behind it. Shipping is when you take two characters and pair them romantically. In the case of Naruto, the amount of people who shipped Naruto and Sakura or Sasuke and Hinata simply blows my mind. But they're fun, fictional, alternate histories of the same story we all know and love. Major story bits are kept in, and the minor details are changed so that we can have our own way, so to speak, with the storyline while keeping it intact. Take note that the other variety of fanfic is just making up a story within the confines of an already created storyline. An example of this would be such as, while Frodo and the Fellowship of the Ring are making their way into Moria, you could write a secondary storyline where a group of elves embark on a journey to Minas Tirith to inform humanity about the presupposed doom coming to them. And then these elves face countless hardships, perhaps failure, perhaps death, and maybe in the end they don't even make it. Or they do make it, and they don't care to deliver their news anymore. Or along the way, they're enticed by Sauron or Sauron and turn to evil. There are so many ways you could spin a story like this without actually affecting the primary characters in any capacity. What I'm going to be doing today, however, is a rewrite of sorts for Naruto. If you've never seen the Naruto anime up until episode 135, or read up to chapter 235, please do so before listening to this video. Today we're going to look at Sakura Haruno of Naruto fame. Along with the rest of the cast and story, she was written by Masashi Kishimoto, who has gone on record numerous times that he is terrible at writing girls. Why this is true is really beyond any of us, but theories abound. Regardless, every female character in the Naruto story is lacking significantly in at least one category. Sakura is one of four main characters, the other three being Sasuke Uchiha, Naruto Uzumaki, and Kakashi Hatake, the other members of Team 7. Most writers who have such a small main cast find no trouble at all giving each tremendous character building. We see this with Sasuke, Naruto, and Kakashi, but not with Sakura. And I'm talking such little exploration that her parents don't even exist in the manga. To clarify, she has parents, but her character history is not explored at all, so they're not introduced. So we could go for days talking about the innumerable other side characters in the series and how they're written better than Sakura. However, this isn't a video to spit on the masterful work of Kishimoto. Yes, despite its shortcomings, I still believe Kishimoto to be in the upper echelon of manga writers. This is a creative experiment to see if my conception of how Sakura's character could be would actually work. I'm going through all of Naruto Part 1, or Before Shippuden, and not only explore Sakura as a character, but provide changes to her choices. These changes will sometimes alter the focus of interactions, but the intent is to make her feel as important as Sasuke and Naruto. I want to look at her individual interactions with other characters. I also want to look at the open-ended love triangle of Team 7. It's established immediately that Naruto likes Sakura, But is this just a crush based on looks? She's certainly mean enough to him that it can't be her personality. And Sasuke couldn't care less for romance, leaving the target of her love as an unreachable cloud of mist. Regardless, I will also be exploring this dynamic just a little bit further because I feel in places it could have definitely been done differently. Down the line, I will do a Shippuden video as well, but it's simply too much to cram into one video. And to emphasize, I in no way believe I'm a superior writer to Kishimoto. It is exponentially easier to alter a currently existing story than it is to conjure one from scratch, and every writer in the world knows this. In fact, my rendition might end up being far worse than what actually happened. I'll need everyone's feedback for that. So first off, introductions. I will be covering the contents of the manga, omitting any filler that exists in the anime. For clarity, this will include chapters 1 through to 235. The culmination and failure of Naruto's attempt to retrieve Sasuke. The series starts out pretty smooth, as one would expect from the pilot chapter of any series. We get courtesy introductions to the protagonist, Naruto, and the following chapters dive us right into the training grounds. Instead of focusing on what everyone else is doing, let's look solely at Sakura for this rewrite. This will be easy, because she doesn't do anything. She doesn't fight against Kakashi, nor does she offer a helping hand to Naruto or Sasuke. When noon arrives, this is where we see our first minor change in the narrative. Rather than Naruto being tied to the pole and us being done with it, Kakashi will actually point out that had Naruto not tried to cheat, it would be Sakura tied to the post for non-participation. This is a subtle jab at her incompetence early on in the story. Instead of everyone in the audience quickly tiring of her obsessive feelings for Sasuke, Kakashi's comment will draw attention to the fact that everyone else is aware that she's incompetent. Remember, Sakura should be an underdog. Naruto's an underdog for all of 5 minutes, until he and Sasuke coordinate a successful counterattack against Zabuza. After that encounter, Naruto remains a goofball, but he really stops being an underdog. This would have been the perfect moment for Kishimoto to shift the underdog focus to Sakura, but she instead falls to the wayside. But I digress, let us refocus. Naruto can use every low moment of Sakura's to defend her. I'm not trying to change the direction of the romance in this story. Instead, I want Naruto to like her for more realistic reasons than because he does. We've all been 11 years old when we just arbitrarily decided on a random girl to crush on, but these are characters that have aged slower than their readers. In the 15 years of the story's runtime, the characters only aged up 6 years. It stands to reason that they would need to be given more dimension than your standard 11-year-old, at least in the range of romance, or that could become stale real fast. The next moment of note is after they start their mission to the Land of Waves, and are ambushed by the Two-Claw Ninja. In my version, Naruto freezes, gets injured, Sasuke leaps into action to apprehend, and Sakura fails to protect the bridge builder. Okay, it's all basically the same, except in my version, Sakura fails to protect him, and this leads to consequences. She fails not entirely because she doesn't do anything, but because one of the opponent ninja slips past her, and before Kakashi can intervene, the bridge builder is injured. This can be an extremely minor injury, but the importance is in the failure of Sakura. Just as in the training grounds, Kakashi wheels on Sakura after the conflict and reprimands her for failing in her duties. We get a brief narrative from Sakura, realizing she spent the whole fight dazzled by Sasuke, and lost sight of which ninja was where. This humanizes her. All we get from her in the real events of the story are comical inner thoughts with her Cha consciousness. We don't want her to be a goof, we want to root for her. We already have our goof in Naruto, and though this is a series originally designed for children, you can still have characters with more than one dimension. Later, when Zabuza confronts the gang and successfully imprisons Kakashi, we can have a brief moment during the action. When Sasuke and Naruto are implementing their strategy to free Kakashi, one of Zabuza's clones sneak around. Again, Sakura is distracted by Naruto and Sasuke, and the clone gets through. It only manages another minor injury to the bridge builder before the clone jutsu is disrupted by Zabuza's broken concentration, shocked that two children just outmaneuvered him. The fight ends, and Kakashi sighs with disappointment at Sakura after congratulating Naruto and Sasuke on their performance. So this accomplishes two things simultaneously. It would help build Sakura further as an underdog for one, but it would also establish a minor thought that Kakashi might be antagonistic. I would like to note that he is not. He's not a bad guy, not in my version. But students usually resent their teacher in some capacity, especially at first. This would breathe more life into the dynamic of teacher and student if Kakashi's at least briefly thought of as a grumpy teacher. Again, this would all be born from people's growing attachment to the underdog that is Sakura. So after this sequence, we would get another very brief comment or thought from Sakura indicating that her ego is hurt. She went through all of school thinking she was vastly superior to Naruto, but every interaction as a ninja so far has proven the exact opposite. Sakura is beginning to recognize her own weaknesses. We can have momentary tension from the bridge builder here, both in annoyance that he got injured, but also humbled that he expects this amount of aggression from the enemy. How can a member of the 7 Ninja Swordsmen of the Mist be after him, of all people? Next scene, we're in the Forest of Chakra, and Kakashi is teaching the kids how to walk up trees. We get that iconic panel of all 3 running towards the tree, except in my version, Sakura gets some action. Perhaps from an alternate angle, you see Sasuke running several steps up the tree, and in the background, we can see Sakura pausing at the base of the tree and planting her foot against its base. This would be done to indicate that she's thinking about the application, rather than trying to force success. It's an indication that she thinks fundamentally differently than Naruto and Sasuke. Again, done to increase audience appreciation for her, and to cast light on her one strength, her intellect. Naruto and Sasuke fly up the trees off their own momentum and predictably fail on their first attempts. We pan to Sakura, who sits successfully atop the top branches of her tree. A glint of curiosity in Kakashi's eye, he congratulates Sakura and challenges her to hang by her feet for as long as possible. Kakashi knows she has less chakra reserves than either Sasuke or Naruto, so this is good practice to refine what she has available to her. When night falls and both boys are still failing in their task, Kakashi relieves Sakura and the two return to the bridge builder's home. The next day, both boys are still training, and Sakura takes it easy at the bridge builder's home. Instead of leaving Sakura to her victory spoils, Kakashi tells her that despite being ahead of the boys in this one category, she's behind in every other. He tells her that if she has time to laze around, she has time to refine her other talents as well. Again, this helps get the audience on Sakura's side. Her confidence renewed in the tree climbing exercise and shattered by another haranguing by Kakashi. Kakashi's justified, but he doesn't have to be so harsh. This is what the audience should be thinking at this point. After all, Sakura instantly mastered a technique that took the genius Sasuke hours and hours to succeed at once, let alone master. The day arrives when Zabuza and Haku strike. Everything in this sequence plays out the same. I mean it. Kakashi instructs Sakura to protect the bridge builder, and with renewed focus, she sets her purpose on doing just that. Therefore, the entire fight takes place in exactly the same manner. This isn't to pull attention away from Sakura. Rather, it's a fight whose focus is on both Sasuke activating his Sharingan for the first known time, and Naruto releasing a bit of the fox's chakra in rage. There's no space in this fight, in particular, to give to Sakura. There aren't enough opponents, and she's already failed in her current task twice. She cannot fail a third time. Despite returning from the Land of Waves with a successful mission under their belt, Sakura is aware that she hasn't personally seen any real combat. With the introduction of Temari, Kankuro, and Gaara, we have a brief street-side interaction between Team 7 and the Sand Ninja. Before Sasuke shows up when Naruto's trying to act tough and protect Konohamaru, Sakura has another inner monologue that she also needs to intervene. However, much like Naruto versus the Claw Ninja earlier, Sakura freezes in the face of potential combat and panics. Temari stands in her way while Kankuro plays at being a bully. Temari mocks and teases Sakura for being too cowardly to even lift a finger for her pitiful friends. Sakura is truly powerless in this moment. When Naruto and Sasuke come to the building for the Chunin exams, Sakura is absent. Otherwise, everything proceeds as normal. Rock Lee challenges Sasuke and schools him. The genjutsu on the level of the floor is pointed out by Sasuke, and that's that. Sakura is not here to get any of that limelight. After all, Sakura is touted as a genjutsu type throughout the beginning of this series, but clearly that never takes shape, so we're not going to focus on it yet. Doubting that she'll show up, Naruto and Sasuke approach the doors and are stopped by Kakashi. He holds them back for several minutes, asking where Sakura is, unconcerned. After they both admit they don't know where she is, he gives them the speech that he's proud of them for coming this far. Silence falls between the three of them, and just as Kakashi opens his mouth, disappointed to say they can't enter, Sakura enters the hall. She's quiet, but agrees to officially enter the Chunin exams with them. A sigh of relief from Kakashi. He wishes them luck and stands aside. As they step inside the doors, they're locked. Team 7 only just qualified because of Sakura's lateness. Before Ibiki arrives to start the exams, everything is normal here with the exception of a sneer from Temari when she glances back and sees Sakura present. We get the playful reuniting of their classmates poking fun at Naruto. Sakura dips into the background of the group with a panel noting that she's even more quiet than Hinata of all people. Played to Sakura's strength, we get to see another bit where she aces this test. The questions aren't easy, but she finds the answer to every question before question 10 is presented. The desire to cheat doesn't even occur to her. Question 10 comes, and instead of Sakura taking pity on Naruto, she's taking pity on herself. Just like in the source material, we get a chapter dominated by Sakura monologue, but instead of concern for Naruto, it's concern for herself. It's explained to us that she was so late for the Chunin exams because of anxiety, that she knows her competence, or lack thereof, would slow down or even cause defeat for Naruto and Sasuke. She's so down on herself from every failure thus far that she's not willing to risk the 10th question and lose it all. Despite acing every other question, her sheer lack of confidence shatters the logic in her mind, and just as she's about to give it all up, Naruto raises his hand and speaks his proclamation. This spurs confidence in everyone else, including Sakura, and she refrains from raising her hand at the last second. Moving on to the Forest of Death. Against Orochimaru, nothing changes. He instills the fear of death into Sasuke and Sakura, and this basically puts her out of commission for the entire fight. Later, when she's forced to protect Naruto and Sasuke's unconscious bodies in the Sound Ninja attack, everything can play out very similarly. Where Kishimoto hasn't given her any focus, this is actually a phenomenal sequence for her, even with Inoshikacho and Rock Lee coming to her aid. However, I will change this up slightly, and this change is the first dramatic difference from the true source versus my version, as in my case, it will continue to be important for the rest of the rewrite. After Lee fails to protect her, she tries her own hand at fighting the Sound Ninja and fails. Before she's beaten to a pulp, Inoshikacho pop out of the shadows and distract the enemy away. In a moment of desperation, separated from the fray, Sakura leans over Sasuke's unconscious body, weeping that she couldn't do anything, even in the 11th hour, to hold them off. Now, I need to halt the rewrite for a moment. If we look at all the Genin teams, they're pretty remarkable, right? Hinata, Shino, and Kiba have cool, unique abilities for scouting, even if they aren't particularly powerful. Ino, Shikamaru, and Choji have a cool disabling combination, and Shikamaru is one of the most entertaining secondary characters in the entire series. Rock Lee, Tenten, and Neji are slightly more notable, as Neji is a Sasuke-esque genius and Rock Lee is quite simply a badass. And I'm sorry I can't say anything about Tenten. But then Team 7. Naruto is both a Jinchuriki and an Uzumaki, and he far later in the series learns even more empowering abilities. But he's the protagonist. Of course he needs to eventually become one of the strongest. Sasuke is one of the last of the Uchiha clan. His Sharingan is insanely powerful, and he too gets immense upgrades down the line. So shouldn't it stand to reason that Sakura should get something as well? Resuming the rewrite. The roots of the tree all around Sakura begin to glow faintly as imperceptible motes of chakra pull out of all the wildlife in her immediate vicinity and soak into Sasuke as she cries for his help. The chakra enters his body and gives him a jolt of energy, enough to jumpstart the curse mark and wake him from his slumber. Sasuke rises and deals an insanely badass dose of vengeance on the Sound Ninja. Before he does even more damage, Sakura hugs him from behind in a plea for him to stop. That probably sounds identical to what actually happens, but in this case the curse mark does not retract on its own. Again, this strange power pulls chakra from Sasuke, forcing the curse mark to regress. Even though he calmed down when she hugged him, he couldn't quell the power of the curse mark on his own. It was a small quirk that at that time, neither of them would pick up on. After they enter the tower at the forest's center and the participants are put into a preliminary tournament, Sakura still ends up against Ino and still ends up possessed. However, unlike in the source material, where she for some reason has a separate willpower that was played for laughs earlier, but now has a serious presence that can overwhelm another will, I'm going to change it up. The way Sakura's match ends in the real events isn't disappointing, it's just unrealistic, as silly as that sounds. What's that secondary consciousness? Why is that never, ever explored again, at least in a practical manner? No, in my version things proceed in practically the same way initially. They duke it out and eventually Ino nails her with the mind transfer jutsu. She basically owns the win here. Though her will is being suppressed, Sakura's survival instincts activate that mysterious power that came to her in the Forest of Death. Before Ino can initiate Sakura's loss, she feels her energy start to wane and fade away, and suddenly she loses grip of the jutsu, freeing Sakura from the possession. Ino falls unconscious from the chakra drain, and Sakura stands in confused victory. Everyone in the stands above decide that Ino was simply more exhausted than Sakura, that she couldn't keep up the jutsu for long enough. We see another glint in Kakashi's eye, just as we saw in the Forest of Chakra. There's something strange about Sakura. Tamari laughs that Sakura won by sheer accident, shaking her head in bewilderment that someone so useless can advance this far. When the lots are drawn for the real tournament, everything is the same, except Sakura is pitted against Tamari. Since Dosu is later killed by Gaara, Shikamaru gets a skip. We can even have a scene where lazy Shikamaru cheers that he doesn't have to do as much as everyone else. Now we see a real struggle for poor Sakura. Fresh with the curse mark, and whose only teacher in the Sharingan is Kakashi, Sasuke and he leave town for secretive one-on-one training. Naruto disappears to be trained by Jiraiya as well. This leaves Sakura alone, with no idea how to train for her upcoming match. Ino volunteers her time to help Sakura improve, but not much progress is made here. It's basically two genin banging rocks against each other. The tournament begins and progresses as normal. Tamari and Sakura is a sad fight. Tamari wins with extreme ease, not even having to open her fan, and Sakura feels completely set back and abandoned. Again, before returning to the competitor's area, Tamari derides Sakura. This time, she uses Sakura to illustrate the weakness of the entire village hidden in the leaves. The Sand and Sound ambush occurs, and Sasuke gives chase after Gaara, Kankuro, and Tamari. Disheartened and insulted that Kakashi didn't spare a whit for her training, Sakura does not wake Naruto and leaves to chase Sasuke before Kakashi can stop her or give instructions. This forces Kakashi to give Naruto and Shikamaru the cliff notes before pushing them to follow after Sakura. The Sand Shinobi follow after Sakura with the Naruto-Shikamaru duo behind them a ways. In this version, Kakashi is too rushed to summon out Pakun. He forgets. Eventually, Sakura is ambushed by the Sand Shinobi and forced into a corner. Yet again, and still accidentally, all the men are suddenly drained of chakra, and Sakura feels a mighty swell of energy within herself. Her whole body is quickly dripping with sweat as her body heat skyrockets. This does not dissuade her. Exploding away from the fainted men, she blasts through the forest at inhuman speeds, quickly catching up to Sasuke as Tamari turns to face him. Exhilarated by her unending energy, Sakura tells Sasuke to go on ahead, that she can handle Tamari on her own. Remember, Sasuke arrives to the tournament late. He has no idea how handily Tamari defeated Sakura the first time. Without even glancing back, he speeds past Tamari towards Gaara, who in this version has started to go a little bit crazy and is running sporadically throughout the woods on his own. Remember, he doesn't have Kankuro or Temari now to help him out. In this second fight, Sakura gets a blistering headache as her chakra chalice overflows and her body begins to show signs that it cannot maintain the chakra levels she currently has. Well, the best way to exhaust one's chakra is to use it. And so she gives Temari a fierce beating, the likes of which Temari cannot even fathom. Even after using every ninja tool and technique available to her, Temari stands no chance. Explosive kunai are easily slapped aside, their explosions seemingly harmless. Temari brandishes her fan, but regardless of how much power she puts into her swings, Sakura just tanks them or dodges around the blasts. Sakura spares Temari no word in her victory, charging ahead once more in pursuit of Sasuke. After unloading the wealth of chakra she had, Sakura is now more or less back to her base level. Meanwhile, Naruto and Shikamaru come to the fainted group of Sanshinobi and without any other logical explanation, assume help arrived for Sakura. Remember, Pakun wasn't summoned, so they wouldn't have any kind of heads up as to what happened here. Finally catching up, Sasuke is so impressed that Sakura so quickly dealt with Temari that he's actually kind of suspicious as to whether Temari was really dispatched. Nonetheless, he attacks Gaara, and from here until the end of the arc, it's basically the same outcome. When the curse mark overtakes Sasuke, Sakura briefly thinks about how Kakashi said the curse mark is nothing to worry about. This stirs further frustration for her teacher. Gaara overwhelms Sakura and traps her with that sand claw. However, Gaara at this point in the story is a cold-blooded murderer. He legitimately has no reason to torture Sakura. He's insane. He would just kill her. He thinks himself so superior to his opponents that hurting her to taunt them doesn't make any sense. However, in my version, her latent ability slowly pulls chakra from the Sandarm. So even though she's too weak to do anything, the Sandclaw actually lacks the power to put her out of her misery. With Gaara distracted by Naruto's burst of energy, he has no time to reinforce the grip on Sakura, so his threats of killing her are actually hollow beyond this point. On a side note, Shikamaru stops at the fainted Shino and gives him aid, leaving Naruto to go ahead alone. I understand this steals the show a little bit for Shikamaru, but this rewrite is Sakura focused, so other characters are going to have to take an L here and there. And now we get on to the start of the really exciting bits. We have to remember that through all of this, Sakura is still very much in love with Sasuke. That part of the story never changes. Because she's an underdog, we want her to succeed in every way, including her foray in love. Sakura is walking down the street when Sasuke blasts past her without a word. Worried for him and wanting to assist, she races after him as fast as she can, but Sasuke is just so much faster. Nonetheless, she keeps on his trail as he carelessly runs to the next town over in blind pursuit of Itachi. Sakura arrives after Itachi defeats Sasuke, and this is actually after the point that Might Guy takes an unconscious Sasuke away. So she's now in some strange town with Naruto and Jiraiya, and asks to go with them, convinced they might continue to investigate the whereabouts of Itachi. Sasuke unconscious, this is her way of continuing his mission, to support him. Any information on Itachi she can find will get her brownie points with Sasuke. Meanwhile, Naruto is over the moon that Sakura wants to go with him on a field trip. Jiraiya tells her that what he's trying to teach Naruto she likely wouldn't be able to handle. Sakura puts up no argument, as she's not here to train, but to help Sasuke however she can. Through Jiraiya, she eventually meets Tsunade, understanding that she's one of the Sannin. When Sakura sees Naruto pull off a half-contrived Rasengan, she grows worried that she's falling so far behind him and Sasuke. However, she's immediately infatuated by one of the greatest ever Kunoichi, and momentarily forgets her hunt for information about Itachi. Naruto already has Jiraiya, and even if Kakashi were conscious, he'd be using all his time to teach Sasuke. For Sakura, it only makes sense to ask Tsunade if she can receive training. Boldly approaching Tsunade on her own, Sakura is firmly rebuffed when she tries to ask for help herself. If Kakashi's not going to teach her, then she'll find the next best teacher she can, a Sannin. If Orochimaru is fixated on Sasuke and Jiraiya is there for Naruto, surely Tsunade would be sympathetic to her cause and help train her. This fails. Instead of walking away in defeat, which Sakura is sick of by this point, She follows Tsunade as much as she can and tries to impress the uninterested Sannin. Though Tsunade notices right away Sakura's keen chakra control, this is not enough for the gambler to change her mind. When the great clash of the Sannin finally occurs, Sakura helps Naruto defeat Kabuto. We all know Kabuto is in no way a pushover. After all, he has been described as being equal to Kakashi, regardless of how true or false that may be. For Naruto to somehow pull a fast one over even a disabled Kabuto should be unfathomable at this point in time. But with Sakura by his side and with this mysterious power at her fingertips, the chances are far clearer. As Kabuto begins to outmaneuver the two, Sakura feels the mysterious pull of chakra again every time Kabuto comes within mere feet of her. This reduces Kabuto's energy enough that he slowly loses reaction time. Eventually, Naruto lands a successful Rasengan and takes him out of commission. Tsunade and Orochimaru both witness and recognize the latent power within Sakura. After the fight ends and Orochimaru attempts to flee, he also attempts to kidnap Sakura, but Tsunade gets in the way. Back in Konoha, Tsunade revives Sasuke much to Sakura's relief. When Sakura explains to Sasuke how she went out to try and investigate Itachi's whereabouts and actions, which she of course made no headway, Sasuke gets intensely insulted that she's both poking her head in his business and assuming that he needs help, and tells her to leave him alone. Defeated, she leans back and leaves the room. As she exits into the hall, Shizune is outside as well with new glowing compliments for Sakura to have stood her own in a fight involving Sannin. Shizune gives her a letter direct from Tsunade, inviting Sakura to have a proper meet and greet for the up-and-coming 5th Hokage. Her dashed feelings with Sasuke are suppressed by the immense excitement she feels from the gesture. Dashing away, she goes to meet Tsunade as soon as she can. This is big for Sakura. In the past, she would have been defeated and sulked about until Sasuke seemed less of an ass. For once, she's taking her own personal goals as priority over her childish crush on Sasuke. Tsunade greets Sakura in some side office, having not quite inherited the primary Kage office. Right to business, Tsunade tells Sakura that she is unaware of a great gift. Tsunade reveals that she's gone through Sakura's entire known family tree, but found no ninja of note to explain this strange power within her. She explains that what Sakura has at her fingertips could very well be akin to the wood-release dojutsu of the first Hokage. A Kekkei Genkai that was not inherited through her family, but originated within herself. This is just a shock. Sakura was preparing herself to be the least impressive ninja on Team 7. She doesn't even feel the excitement of this news yet. Tsunade expresses further interest in Sakura's chakra control and offers to additionally train her in medical ninjutsu. Knowing this is what Tsunade is famous for, Sakura snaps back to reality and accepts the offer, volunteering to learn anything and everything she can. Sakura is now at the top of the world now, as she skips back to the hospital, entirely forgetting the state of affairs she and Sasuke were at. As she enters the hall that Sasuke's room is in, he and Naruto come out of the room and head to the roof for their accidentally serious duel, wherein Kakashi intervenes at the last second. Sakura is in a real tumultuous roller coaster of emotions. She feels like she keeps slingshotting back and forth between sad and happy, and it's making her crack. After Sasuke and Naruto leave, Sakura furiously yells at Kakashi for his carelessness. In a heightened emotional state, she unloads her frustration on him, blaming him for Sasuke's impetuousness and for ignoring her in any kind of training. She seethes at his inability to teach more than one person at a time and for punishing her failure to protect the bridge builder against an S-rank villain. She probably failed the Chunin exams because of him. His beginning expectations of her leading to his complete dismissal of her has finally culminated in the ultimate blow-up. Kakashi just takes it silently as she finishes her outburst and also leaves. Having already gained Tsunade's recognition, Sakura now has confidence in herself. When Sasuke tries to split town, Sakura stands in his way, but not as a helpless crybaby, but as a barrier to stop him. Still angry at their last predicament, she admonishes Sasuke for being selfish, and when he starts to dodge around her, for the first time in her life, She purposely activates her Kekkei Genkai, sapping a shocked Sasuke. Him weakened and her strengthened shortens the gap in their skill and strength. Though she fails to stop him, she almost incapacitates him. He dodges around her strikes, but as he slows and she quickens, she manages to catch him off guard a few times. Kneeling and tired from their short bout, Sakura looks up at Sasuke, eyes tear-filled. These are both tears of hopelessness and also of anger, that after all this time, he still isn't valuing her as a teammate. Sasuke kneels as well to match her eye level and exclaims gratitude that she wasn't completely useless after all. For one of the first times in the series, we see a small but genuine smile from Sasuke. When he tries to leave, Sakura tells Sasuke that she'll help him, tells him all she knows about her Kekkei Genkai and how useful it could be for him in his travels. Hesitating for several long moments, Sasuke finally decides against it and knocks her out. When Shikamaru gathers the crew to retrieve Sasuke and Sakura meets them at the gate, Shikamaru, as in real events, states that he has no more space for additional members. Sakura exclaims that she will just then go on her own, and even Naruto insists that she stays behind, promising to get Sasuke back. This is the climax of Part 1 for Team 7. Sakura cannot be excluded, even though she's already failed once. Sakura is not just losing a member of her team, she's losing the person she's desired most for years. She's losing the anchor that's held her world in place. She's not going to stand aside and let Naruto handle the rest. Even if she can't personally stop Sasuke, she will do everything in her power to make sure Naruto can succeed. After Shikamaru's gang leaves, Sakura waits for them to get several miles ahead, well aware through her studying of the standard range of the Byakugan and the strength of an Inuzuka nose. Staying out of range of their tracking abilities, Sakura follows. When Jirobo encases the group in an earthen dome to begin sapping all their chakra, Sakura sneaks around behind him. The Sound Three are going ahead. She jumps out of the bushes to distract him. On her own, she's not much of a match, but without him constantly maintaining the chakra for his walls, the group breaks out far faster than in the original story. Choji tells them to go on ahead, and the group thanks Sakura, inviting her to come in Choji's place. What's done is done. She agrees to now travel with them. They're less tired now, and closer to the fleeing Sound Three. Neji stops to fight Kidomaru as normal, and the group progresses further after the Sound 2. When Kiba stops to fight Sakon, Sakura volunteers herself to help him fight, but Kiba's too stubborn and refuses aid, and so the rest of the party chases after the Sound 1. Finally, when they're stopped by Tayuya and Shikamaru decides it's his time, Sakura again offers aid. He considers her for only a moment before deciding that Sakura as a non-specialized combatant is too unreliable and encourages her to go on ahead with Naruto. Kimimaro waits for Naruto and Sakura in the field with the coffin emanating a troubling aura. Sasuke emerges from the coffin, laughing maniacally and ignoring any pleas from Naruto. Forgetting caution, Sakura lunges forward towards Sasuke, but Kimimaro gets in her way. She tries to throw kunai, but he easily sidesteps the weak attack. She insists that Naruto give chase, acknowledging that there's nothing more she can do to stop Sasuke, but Naruto can. After Naruto departs, Sakura turns to face off against Kimimaro, all on her own. At first she tries to steal his energy, but he moves too quickly, and she requires a certain proximity with her yet unhoned skill. Its range is too short and preparation too long for such an agile opponent. Kimimaro quickly becomes aware of the gap in their skill and dives in for the kill. Rock Lee arrives to help, narrowly saving her life. Rock Lee explains that he overheard Tsunade complaining that Sakura went off against better judgment and that she was too valuable a potential asset to lose in the field so soon. His assistance gives her time to test what she can do with the power, discovering that she can pull tiny amounts of chakra out of any life around her. As Kimimaro starts to overwhelm Lee, Sakura pushes that energy into her ally's back, and it revitalizes Lee. Nevertheless, the two continue to be overpowered until Gaara arrives to help bring the fight to a close. Back at the village, Kakashi apologizes for his poor teaching skills and promises to focus entirely on Sakura while Naruto and Sasuke are away. Sakura quietly declines. Every time she looks at Kakashi, all she remembers are lies and his disappointment in her. She doesn't want to be the last choice, after Kakashi has no one left to teach. She's the kid. It's logical that she'd be illogical. but she also has validity behind her words. At this point, the audience shouldn't be against Kakashi, but given choice, should team up with Sakura. Kakashi's ashamed, not only that he didn't teach his students properly, but also that he, as an elite Jonin, allowed the last of the Uchiha to leave the village. This is a crucial blow to the potential power of Konoha, and Kakashi knows that better than almost anyone. At the end of Part 1, Team 7 hasn't just lost Sasuke, it's effectively shattered into pieces. The last of Sakura's indecision leaves her as Tsunade approaches and initiates the official start to her training. She agrees to teach her not just in medical ninjutsu, but also in refining her newly discovered Kekkei Genkai. Now, some closing notes. I had so many reasons to choose such a power for Sakura. She's noted extremely early in the series to have remarkable chakra control for someone her age and experience level. I wanted to elaborate off that with an ability that required extreme precision. Knowing where her real story leads in Shippuden or Part 2, I wanted her power to be complemented by everything else she learns. Additionally, in Shippuden, when Sasuke teams up with Karin, he notes how useful her power is. When I make a Part 2 to this series, I would weaken Karin's power so that Sakura stands out more. I didn't want her gift to be a Hiden technique because those abilities tend to be weaker in overall potential. For those who don't know, a Hiden technique is a clan-specific technique. Think along the lines of the Shadow Possession Jutsu of the Nara clan, the Mind Transfer Jutsu of the Yamanaka clan, or the Expansion Jutsu of the Yakimichi clan. These are abilities specialized to those clans, but not exclusive to them, merely kept as a secretive skill. Hypothetically, Shikamaru could impart the secret teachings of the Shadow Jutsu to anyone, a Hyuga or an Uchiha, but it's a family-kept secret. In order for Sakura to keep up with Naruto and Sasuke, she needs to have an ability that allows her to compete. The beginning of the series also places weird emphasis on Sakura being a Genjutsu-type ninja. This is weird that it's never, ever explored. If Kishimoto had properly explored this facet of her potential, she could have been a very strong mirror to Sasuke's Genjutsu abilities. I tried to write Sakura to be unsure at first. Later, she would lose confidence, and that would haunt her for a time. Then she would impress her eventual teacher, which would take her off a course of failure. Finally, she would try to take matters into her own hands, rather than leave everything to Naruto to solve. So she wouldn't just have an interesting ability, she would also be an interesting character. Finally, I want to say one last time that none of what I've posited will ever come to pass. This is just a thought experiment to see how things could change without drastically altering the story. And I think I did a pretty good job of it. Thanks for listening in.